It looks as though things are changing. And I'm not sure if it's just my world, if I live in a cocoon, or if things really are changing. But the old rules aren't working anymore. I think people are waking up to the incredible amounts of corruption that's going on in the world. And really, if you don't want to call it corruption, you can just call it aggressive agendas that are happening that people are really devoted to. I'd like to see people, myself included, to become the solution in that with the changes that are happening, that what is really being demanded these days is integrity. And it's not something that can be achieved through force. If you have an idea that you think is going to work in this marketplace, in this world that we live in, you do know that there are a lot of agendas that may oppose that. Pink Floyd said in 1975, "Welcome, my son, welcome to the machine." There is a machine that's running this country. We look and we complain and we argue about politics and how elected officials aren't doing what they were entrusted to do. And this has been going on for as long as I've been alive, and I know it's been happening way before that. And I think a lot of it is because we do look outside of ourselves. We do look for other people to make the changes that we'd like to see. And if we did get involved in politics, we would quickly see that it is a very slow go, and it is based on a lot of money and corruption and people wanting to advance their own interests. So this is something that's not going to go away anytime soon. So recognizing that and really coming to a place of completely really accepting that for real, not philosophically accepting that, but going, okay, this is the world in which we live. What do we do from that point of view? What kind of changes can we possibly make as individuals? The one that I'm doing, obviously, is through my work. And I have a lot of things that I continue to create, all about helping people improve themselves. Because I really believe that that's the key. I don't think that we could, or nor should we, point the finger at other people to make changes and to do the things that we think need to be done. I think we really have to look at the reality of the world that we live in and make the changes that we know can be done. Well, that sounds great. All right, Dr. Michael, you're saying all this stuff. This is rah-rah, kumbaya. Give us some practical solutions. Well, anybody who knows me knows that it is about greaterness. It is about successions. It is about taking your life to higher and higher levels. This isn't fanciful. This is not looking through the world with rose-colored glasses. You're either elevating your experience, your human experience, or you're not. You're either making changes where your life is more enjoyable, you're more successful, you're sharing more of greater and greater purposes in life, things that are a little more meaningful for you. And what you're doing is you're being so loving, so kind, so service-oriented that you're discovering new ways to do that. Why do you have to discover new ways to do that? Because it's either engaging your audience or it's not. If it's engaging your audience, great. We're probably not having this conversation. But the truth is, we are having this conversation. So we have to work as individuals in being the solution. Well, what gives us the feedback to let us know that we are indeed being the solution? And it would have to be the way I see it. The people whose lives you touch are significantly better for having met you, for having known you. In order to do that, you can't be a dictator. Well, you can, but it just doesn't work. So there's a little bit of politics going on a one-on-one level. I call it the interplay between two individuals. When they come together, there is this like, well, I have an agenda, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's kind of ugly. The way I look at it now is, wow, what would happen if we would just respect the integrity of our relationship? What would happen if when we came together, we discovered who we are as individuals? Like, how do I change when I'm with you? How do you change when you're with me? How does my life inspire you? How does your life inspire me? And who do we become together that we're not when we're apart? Well, of course, if you have an agenda and if you're looking to achieve some kind of goal that's specific to yourself, you're not going to really be present to that interplay because you're too busy advancing your own agenda. Well, isn't that exactly the problem? You know, we're looking at politics and we're going, oh, it's corrupt. And again, corruption is just basically people who are just very aggressive in promoting their agenda. Meaning what? They're really not considering the interplay, the person with whom they're relating. They're almost dogmatic. Their agenda supersedes anybody else's. I mean, they'll listen. They sound like they really care, but do they really care? Well, I don't know. Are you helping them advance their agenda? I think that's the issue, is that we're looking to build teams that will help us all advance our own personal agenda. Well, what's the payback in that? Is it really just money? And if it is just money, can you understand why people are not fulfilled, why they're not satisfied just by getting even a great salary? Because it's not so meaningful for them. So I believe creating a movement, and I do believe that I'm creating a movement. Again, I make fun of myself, I make it light, but I do have this whole crazy language of mine: greaterness, successions, catalyst, guardianology, forward healing. And all of these terms let people know if they're part of the movement or not. Well, how do you know if they're part of the movement or not? They're speaking these terms. And if they're not part of this movement, they're part of something else. And I believe that being committed to this movement, even though it might appear as though it's promoting my agenda, the truth of the matter is, when I'm long gone, I'm hoping that this movement will continue, and not so that my children or my grandchildren inherit the financial rewards, because nobody's going to be given anything for free. The truth of the matter is, if there is any financial rewards at all from promoting this movement, it's going to be in the unique ways that you're engaging your respective communities. And I can't do that for my children. I can't do it for my grandchildren. I can't do it for my community. But what I can do is share very stimulating ideas. And I believe these are really good cutting edge ideas. I think that the brain really is hungry for cutting edge ideas. I know that mine is. And I know that I have to stay on whatever cutting edge that I'm emerging, whatever I'm bringing forth, what I'm midwifing. So I have to. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. I cannot be the same person tomorrow that I was yesterday. And the only way that I can make that change is today, right now. So the only way that I can absolutely 100% ensure that I'm making a change, which means being the solution, is making sure that I am getting myself out of the way and that I'm serving the greater good. You know, whatever that greater good is, whether it's the community, the people who come to me. Now, I do work with people who come to me, and I am serving them, and they're coming to me to advance their agendas. Whoa, isn't that kind of interesting? And it is. And all I can do is hope that more and more people will recognize how incredibly shallow and how empty that really is. That at the end of our life, we're not going to be proud by what we created and what we built, even if it's an empire. We are going to be proud by the relationships that we built. And I hope to build some amazing relationships with you. And more importantly, I actually hope that you build some amazing relationships with people that I will never come to know, but their life is significantly more enriched for having known you, and vice versa. And how? Just by simply respecting the integrity of each beautiful, unique relationship. So that's it for today. On the mic with Dr. Michael. Create a great day.